The word tactical gets thrown around a lot these days. It seems like just about anything with flat black paint has been described as tactical at one time or another. So it was no surprise to see Yamaha continue their tactical lineup of flat Grizzly and all-new Viking models in 2014. To underscore this tactical persona even further, Yamaha introduced these models to a mix of both off-road and firearms-related media at one of the US's premier firearms training facilities, Gunsite in Paulden, Arizona. I think there's two questions that really need to be answered before this media introduction setup can actually make any sense. First, just what is a tactical Grizzly and Viking? And second, who does Yamaha think is going to be buying these things in the first place?
I honestly think the Special Edition Viking and Grizzlies should appeal to anybody. It's really for everybody. I think it's awesome. I think it's cool. They've done a really good job. Again, research, getting back to what colors people like, what graphic schemes they want. You know, this is several years in the process for us. This isn't something that came up last week. And we don't do something just for one consumer. I mean, you gotta have broad appeal. You gotta appeal to the masses and make sure that someone goes in and says, that thing looks really cool, whether or not it has the word tactical on it. And he may never shot a gun in his life, and that doesn't matter. As long as he likes that vehicle, he likes the accessories we've included with it as a special edition model, so much the better. So we want to appeal to the masses for sure with all of our products, but we also want to give them something special every once in a while, and the Special Edition Viking and Grizzly and the tactical black color scheme really does deliver on those fronts.
So it's pretty clear the tactical nature of the Grizzly and Viking SE models is limited strictly to their appearance. Now, to a purist, this may be a point of contention. To me, it's a breath of fresh air. Yamaha isn't trying to suggest that the flat black paint and tactical nameplate automatically turn the operator into some kind of mercenary. In fact, it's quite the contrary. The tactical SE Viking includes a long list of features that will be extremely appealing to any recreational rider.
Well, the Special Edition Viking, I mean, I guess if you break it down and you want to know what's special about it, you start with the color and graphics. You know, the tactical black color scheme, cast aluminum wheels are a really nice looking addition to this thing. It makes it really kind of pop. It comes with a sun top. Some of our stock models do as well, but not all of them. So the Special Edition has a sun top on it. Over fenders, you know, for guys who wants additional element protection, I think, you know, one of the things that's understated, but it really goes a long way towards additional accessories if someone wants to add them to the Viking, is the bed accessory wheel that comes with the Special Edition model. And again, I think it adds to the appeal, and it's kind of a kickstart in the accessory direction for some of these folks, and in a good way though. It kind of gets their creative juices flowing, and they can customize the vehicle the way they want to.
Likewise, the tactical Grizzly model is not targeted at wannabe mall ninjas. Of utmost importance is the fact that its looks are actually quite deceiving. It may appear to be the same as a 2013 Grizzly, but underneath that plastic bodywork, it's undergone some substantial changes.
The problem, if you will, with the Grizzly is because they look a lot alike, the 2013 to the 2014 model, you don't know everything that has gone on under the skin of this vehicle. It's actually, I won't say completely different, but it's vastly changed as far as what's happened up front with the geometry and the width and even the engine. And actually, in an effort to bring it in compliance with EPA emissions, they took the opportunity to dig into that motor and really get some more performance out of that 686 single that's really, for all intents and purposes, bulletproof. But again, it's so much different, and you really have to get on it. Again, you look at it and you really can't tell. If you put them side by side, maybe you can see it's a little wider. It's about 2 inches wider, but the suspension settings had all been changed. They've been tweaked. You know, the geometry up front has been moved around to accommodate the wider stance in front. The EPS settings have been optimized to now measure in 3 spots. Not only the input from the rider, but the speed. Again, it tapers off at higher speeds, and the 4-wheel drive setting you're in. So it knows if you're in 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, or 4-wheel drive with diff lock. All those things working together, it improves it. You take one single trail ride in this and you're like, wow, this thing works better. I couldn't believe, you know, I can't believe they improved upon what they did, but they did, and that's their job. And you know, I tip my hat to them. Kudos to our engineers and our design guys for really digging in and taking small excuses to get into a good vehicle and make it even better again. So they look the same, but you really got to drive the 2014 to see how much better it is.
The changes underneath the Grizzly's plastic have made a huge improvement in how it rides and handles. I was expecting only a minimal improvement, but have been very impressed at how flat it corners and how plush it rides. Don't be fooled by its unchanged exterior. Underneath it all, this is a very different beast. Even though Yamaha's 2014 tactical Grizzly and Viking models aren't targeted only at shooting sport enthusiasts, they did take this opportunity to incorporate some tactical firearms training into this ATV intro event. At first, it seemed like a strange pairing, but it didn't take long to see how these two sports are connected both within the industry and at the consumer level.
Why is an ATV manufacturer out of the firearms training facility? I mean, like, it doesn't really compute, it doesn't really connect. Why? Well, it starts with our shooting sports partners. I mean, we've been invited out here before, independent of any kind of ATV riding. But you get down here outside of Paulden, Arizona, in Chino Valley, and we're close to Prescott, and there's all kinds of trails. There's National Forest, Prescott National Forest. Riding on the Gunsite property alone, there's all kinds of off-road riding opportunities. You gotta be careful because there's ranges. I mean, safety, like in power sports, is utmost priority for the guys that are handling firearms at Gunsite. And even that parallel kind of brings us together. We want to be safe first and foremost. So we've been out here before, and a couple of folks at Yamaha are like, man, how can we get out here for an ATV event? And it was not too long later when our product development team let us in on the fact that they're coming with some special edition models that had the word tactical in it. And we saw it as a great opportunity to kind of partner with our shooting sports industry, outdoor partners, and come out and bring our power sports media friends, but also our shooting and outdoors and hunting media friends, and kind of have them feed off each other.
Well, Gunsite is a special place. It's the very first commercial shooting school in the United States. It really set the precedent for everything else that came after it, established by Colonel Cooper. And we are about self-defense, and we teach ordinary citizens to be confident and well trained with the use of firearms. Why come to Gunsite? Well, first of all, we're the premium gun school in the United States. Secondly, I feel that you need to understand not only your weapon, but you need to understand yourself and your ability to handle that weapon. And with all those three things, you will have the confidence to face whatever you have to face, and hopefully never, with a handgun or a rifle or a shotgun.
We've had 3 full days of training here at Gunsite with world-class instructors like Chris, who, over the years, has trained everybody from ordinary citizens with no prior firearms experience to U.S. Army Special Forces teams that use the training they learned here to defend their country every day. As a recreational competition shooter, I thought I knew a thing or two about how to shoot under stressful situations, but I was still looking forward to further developing those skills with the help of such knowledgeable guys like these ones.
If you want to do that, 1 minute, too quick.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah.
During my 3 days of training here at Gunsite, the instructors broke down all of my bad habits and retrained me how to be a more confident, alert, and accurate shooter using correct shooting techniques, many of which I'd never even considered. Just a few of the things we learned were how to efficiently draw from a holster, close range shooting with a pistol, long range shooting with a rifle, using a Viking to move and engage multiple targets with a pistol, and moving on foot with a rifle, shooting at medium distances. The training at Gunsite really does cover all the bases.
Why do we feel that this is an important skill set that you should have if you own a firearm? Everybody has to understand that most situations with a firearm don't involve shooting. There are plenty of problems that are solved by just the possession of a firearm by a homeowner or a property owner, just by the mere fact that they possessed the firearm at the time they needed it, but without necessarily shooting. So I think the greatest thing that people need to take away is, one, when do you actually shoot and when don't you shoot, and have the confidence in knowing you have the ability to do it, which will build up your ability to determine that, instead of just being a random person that picks up a handgun and just decides, oh, you're on my property, maybe I'll shoot.
As a Canadian, I have a limited ability to practice the skills I learned at Gunsite, but while we were there, having the instructors teach me how to respond, then being able to immediately practice those skills in a realistic environment was helpful, confidence-inspiring, and definitely a lot of fun. If you enjoyed this video, post a comment and let us know what you think. Then, click this link to subscribe and that link for more great videos from Dirt Tracks TV.